how is the Martingale system of gambling related to cognitive dissonance? I'll explain right now. One thing that happens with certain people is that if something didn't work the first time, they'll invest more into it to see if it works the second time. If it doesn't work the second time, well, maybe that was because they didn't invest enough, so they'll invest more, and so on and so on. There's a system in gambling called the Martingale System, and that works like this. Let's say you take a $10 hand, you lose the hand, you double down. 20. You lose the 20, you double down. 40, you lose the hand. 80, 160, right? That becomes 320, right? Which becomes 640, right? Which becomes 1280, right? Which becomes, what is that? Right. So it goes on and on and on. What happens with exponents is that it very quickly becomes more money than most gamblers can afford. And if anyone knows anything about gambling, it often happens where you'll lose more than one hand. You might even lose 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hands in a row. And there comes a point where you just cannot afford to double down anymore. You have to kind of take your losses and walk away. Now with cognitive dissonance, that is people acting in opposition to reality, objective reality, and coming up with justifications for that. Because of cognitive dissonance, you will see people double down and double down and double down and double down no matter what. You often see this with certain types of personality disorders. Okay. Some people like to help people a lot. I used to be like this. And it's like you help somebody, it didn't work. And this often happens with patients, by the way, if you ever work with patients. Some patients, you help them, it didn't work, you try to help them some more. It doesn't work. You try to help them some more, it doesn't work. You try to help them some more. When you're a clinician and you get into that kind of pattern, it's often very dangerous because this person's not helping themselves. But in the case of cognitive dissonance, here's what it looks like. Leon Festinger, who taught at the New School, where I went to school, he lived in my neighborhood too. He did a study of this doomsday group who believed that the world was coming to an end, and he studied them, and he was with them when the world was going to come to an end, and the world didn't come to an end, and he interviewed them afterwards, and he found something interesting. Now, you would think that if a group says the world's coming to an end, and it doesn't, all the members of the group would leave. But we know that's not true because there are many, 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 many predictions that the world is coming to an end, and it doesn't come to an end, and members don't leave, ever. In fact, I just heard back in August, a friend of mine said that the world was horrible things were going to happen in 2018. It's the end of 2018. We still have 2 more days to prove that theory correct, but it's been 8 months since I heard that. Well, let's say it happens in March, April, May, June, July of 2019. That's 6 months off. But that's not real. That's not reality. That's a false prediction. Because then all that somebody has to say was, well, 2018 was put off. We can go to 2019, 20, 21, 22. And then the world's really going to end in 2022. And here's how the psychology behind it works. Those people who listen to this message might become more fervent in their belief before they believe the world is going to end. But what happens is they become even more fervent after the world doesn't end. And here's why. Because they double down. Boom. Lost 10, bet 20. Lost 20, bet 40. Lost 40, bet 80. Lost 80, bet 160. Right? 320. 640 in. See how it works? So this is the cognitive dissonance that Leon Festinger found with this particular group. The world was supposed to come to an end, but it didn't, because we focused and prayed and gave good energy, and we were aware, and therefore we saved the world, and we have to continue because it's going to happen sooner rather than later. So while few members did leave that group, the members that stayed were even more fervent in their belief, and that is the basic cognitive dissonance. The basic cognitive dissonance. Okay, thank you very much.